Do you remember this thing? Me neither, man.
This is an 04 YZ 250F with a blown engine. I bought this from Marketplace 5 months ago, and I managed to get it for just 600 bucks. That sounds like my kind of bike. Now there's a reason I got this bike for only 600 bucks. Just like P. Diddy, this thing is locked up. In the last video, I tore this thing apart to see the damages and what parts I had to order, which included removing and disassembling the engine. And luckily for me, it was just a seized crank. The head and the cylinder were both in pretty good shape. And this is how she sits right now. She's up on this old stump because it didn't come with a stand. And in this video, hopefully we're going to be putting some life back into this old girl, because she's been lit up for way too long. It's been almost 10 years since I owned my last dirt bike, so let's get to work.
So as you can clearly see, there's something very important missing right here. And that very important thing is right here in 1,000 different pieces. You know, I took this apart probably 3 or 4 months ago. So I gotta try and remember how to put all of this back together. I just love that for me. So everything in this box right here is all I should need to successfully rebuild that engine. So let's open this up and see what we got. So we got an entire new crank. We got a brand new piston and rings, brand new crank bearings. We got all new seals and all new gaskets. This right here is just about $1,000 in new parts. So you seen in the last video, I tore this down enough in the last video to see what parts I had to order and what was bad. So now I gotta finish splitting these cases apart so I can install that new crank.
This case splitter came from Amazon. It's about 100 bucks and it's way better than splitting the cases with a pry bar. Now let's press our crank out of the old bearings.
So we got our 2 cases split. All the transmission is all still in one piece, which is great. I love that for me. Just pressed out the crank. You can see here, right here, this crank is supposed to be able to just swing right around freely. And as you can see, there's a tight spot. Right there. I got a lot of cleaning up to do. Everything is rotten, it's full of oil, full of dirt. Like the cases are absolutely rotten. Now I'm about to empty about 3 cans of brake cleaner, cleaning all this up. So we're gonna go ahead now, I'm gonna press out these old bearings. I'm gonna press in my new bearings. We'll do that on each side of the case. And then we'll get ready to start reassembling this stuff.
You don't need a press to do these bearings, but it definitely helps. I have smacked them out with a hammer before, and smacked them in with a hammer as well.
Now we're just going to flip our case around. Now remember, when you're pressing in these bearings, you want to press on the outer race right here. You do not want to press on this inner race.
Looks good to me. Put our bearing retainers back in and torque all this to spec, whatever that is. You also had to put a little punch in these bolts so they don't back off.
There you go, 1 crank bearing. Now we got to do it on the other side. There is a little trick. If you don't have a press, you can heat up the case. You can put these bearings in the freezer. They'll pretty much drop right in. But if you do have a little press like I do, that one didn't cost very much, came from Princess Auto. It really don't take much effort to press out and press in those bearings. So we're here now on the other side of the case, and you can see here, we got to replace this crank bearing with our new one. And the last person who worked on this was kind enough to strip out that bolt. I just love that for me. Now I'm showing you a few clips of me rebuilding this engine and whatnot, but this is by far no means an engine rebuild video. This is just a quick flick of me rebuilding this engine, getting it in the bike, getting the bike going, and we're going for a rip now at once. If you want a good in-depth rebuild video about these engines, there's lots online. There's people who do far better work than me rebuilding these engines. They're the ones you should be looking at. And also, this is definitely all torque to spec. It's time for the crank.
Put a good coat of oil literally over everything.
So you remember that cold trick that I was telling you about the crank bearings? So we're actually going to do that now with our crank. I'm going to go put this crank outside. It's currently like -10 outside, so that's pretty cold. And I might put a little tiny bit of heat on the bearing here, not too much. And this is going to slide right in.
Just like me, this crank is going to shrink a little bit when it gets cold.
Perfect.
There's a couple seals to replace in here. We can put some silicone on our cases and join them back together. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Meet Mr. and Mrs. Bottom End. Till death do you part.
We got her back together. Everything seems to be spinning pretty nice. Everything's going around as it should be. So now we're going to take the rest of this stuff and get it put back in there. The wife even wrapped my lunch out. She's off today. Next, we're going to start putting together this clutch and that bottom end. After lunch.
So let's just put this clutch back together. I think I'm doing this the right way. And torque her down. I actually spent a lot of time here cleaning things up because how many shavings were in there. Put on our new seals and gaskets and bolt her down.
We almost got our bottom end all put back together. We're working now on the top end. And what we're doing first here now, before I put the piston on this new crank, we're putting our ring in the cylinder. We're taking our new piston here and just kind of pushing the ring down. I got to get a feeler gauge now up in one of my drawers, and you got to measure the ring gap.
The ring gap here was best kind, so let's put the rings on the piston and get it put on the connecting rod. Hone out the cylinder with the Amazon dingle ball hone. Clean it out real good and get ready to put it on.
Got a nice cross hatch there in the cylinder.
So you got to take your time, compress the rings while you're pushing down the cylinder. Just make sure not to bind anything up.
So for some reason, I cannot get this flywheel to go on over this crank. If you line them up here side by side, this is a lot smaller. These trades are a lot smaller than those. Just a little comparison here. The trades on this new crankshaft are a lot bigger than on the old crankshaft. So I either got the wrong crankshaft, I hope not. Everything else fits well, the clutch side fits good. I don't know. So I either got the wrong crankshaft, there's the wrong stator, or this bike is not an 04. If you look here, it's not that much bigger. I think maybe if I can drill out this flywheel a little bit, that it'll fit over here. Everything else seems to work. Everything moves fine, up and down fine. The clutch side all went together perfect. This is the only issue that I'm having here now. So I think what I'm actually going to do is take a drill bit and I'm going to drill this out a little bit to try to get it in fit. What's the worst that's going to happen? I got the flywheel on. It's bolted on. It's over the Woodruff key. It's all lined up. We're on top dead center. Our marker's here on top dead center. We're good. I'm going in for some supper now because I've been at this all damn day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the top end. And hopefully tomorrow I'll get the rest of that engine put back together. We'll get it in this bike. Pray to God we got spark, because I don't know what went on there. And get the top end put on her tomorrow. Get the engine put back in. Try to start her. All right, I went in. I ate my supper. I did some research. I got a shower. And I just don't understand what's going on here. So anyways, I'm back out again. I checked the VIN on the bike. This is a 2004. I looked up these part numbers right here on the case, and it matches out that this is a 04 or 05 according to the cases, which are good. So that all lines up correctly. This is the complete bottom end kit that I got. All hot rod stuff. Yamaha YZ 250F, old trade of 13. Should fit. This is the box that the crank was in. YZ 250F, old trade 211. But for some reason, this crankshaft right here and this nut are smaller than this one. And the stator, well, I drilled it out and I got it on there barely, but I'm gonna probably take it back off and drill it out again tomorrow some more so I can get it a bit closer in. But if anyone else in the comments has come across this kind of stuff, drop a comment, man. I don't know. I'm going to try it out and see what happens. Hopefully it all works out well. But unless the crank that was in the bike, the crank that's seized up, is the wrong crank, is all I can figure. But then why is the stator different? Like, I don't know. It's the next morning, we're back out again. I'm pretty sure I figured out what's going on here. I looked up this part number. According to that part number, that flywheel belongs to a 2001 YZ250F. And what we got here is a 2004. And if you remember, our crankshaft here is for a 03 to an 11. So the only thing I can really figure is that somebody put an 01 crankshaft in it maybe, and an 01 flywheel. That's the only thing I can think. But I'm gonna try it. If we got spark, we're golden. If not, I'm gonna have to buy a stator, or sorry, a flywheel. I got my stator, my flywheel all in. It's all bolted down. It turns freely. I got no clearance issues right now. I'm hoping that I'm gonna have spark. Hoping and praying. That's the only thing that's gonna hold me back now on this. I did spray some stuff in my exhaust ports and my intake, and I looked on the bottom to see if there was any leakage on my valves. I got nothing leaking out of my valves there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this head on. Once again, look up those torque specs.
Yeah, I know a lot of you professional dirt bike builder guys are probably cringing at that stator and the fact that I drilled it out to make it fit. But I'm going to try it, so let's go ahead, get this head torqued down and move on. Time to put the cams in her and set her timing up and tighten up the tensioner.
Would you look at that? The engine is all in one piece. I'm going to hope and pray that it works. It kicks over fine enough. I tried that out. My transmission works. I tested it on the bench. It turns over fine enough. My timing is all on. The only thing I'm not sure on is that stator. I'm hoping that's still going to work. I cleaned out all of these oil lines. There's actually a filter here. You unbolt it. There's a filter up there. I sprayed it all out. I sprayed out this oil tank as best as I can. That's in the frame here. Try to get... This thing had a bunch of shavings in the engine, so I'm just trying to flush. Literally whatever I can flush, I'm flushing. Try to get every bit of shavings out. Right now, we're ready to plop the engine back in this bad boy. This is the big shaft that goes through the swing arm and the engine. Don't forget to lube that up, because I have had these before where you literally had to beat this out. And just a little bit of lube in it will make a big difference. Lube your shaft, boys.
So let's just throw in the engine. I'm going to hook up just enough stuff here to check for spark before I go any further.
I don't know how well you can see this, but we got spark! So you're going to go on a time lapse right now, and probably in about 30 seconds your time and a couple hours my time, we're going to be ready to start this thing up. Let's go!
So I finished bolting down all the engine mounts. I got the carb on, we got the exhaust on, and I filled it up with some fresh oil. Now it's time to strap on them old dirt bike boots and start kicking.
Whew. It's been about 10 years since I had these boots on. Crazy. Oh, that's sort of the brake lever. We're not going to run her too long because there's absolutely no coolant in it. But it is alive.
My nerves is shot.
Been about 10 years since we had dirt bikes. We actually owned 2 dirt bikes at one time. She had a KX100, imagine that. And I rebuilt that engine, if we can find some pictures, on the kitchen table of a basement apartment we were renting.
True story.
You got to find the pictures.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
Yeah, good times. As you can see now, we're not on a kitchen table.
Couldn't find the kitchen table picture, but this is the bike.
Well, it's alive, it runs, and I got to tell you, I'm beyond relieved right now. There was some uncertainty there for a minute, but now I'm pretty certain this thing is going to be a certified ripper. Radiators. Reds are on, coolant is topped up. Gas tank. Gas tank. Subframe. Subframe. Pipe. I did destroy the exhaust gasket that went in here. It's all over the floor. But I can buy one of those. We don't need that to run this. Woo! We are getting so close, boys. I'm so friggin' pumped. Let's get the seat on her.
Get the shifter bolted on.
I still got no front brakes. I'm gonna look into that probably next, but right now I'm gonna start it up. We're gonna put it in gear and just make sure it moves and the clutch works and stuff.
Yeah, we got some problems. Some clutch issues, actually.
So my clutch, I don't think my clutch is working. Put on gear, she stalled out. My clutch is not disengaging. I don't know why. Trials and tribulations. It starts well, it runs well, everything is doing great, but the clutch is not working. You can pull in on the lever. I've tried adjusting it a bunch of times. It don't work. She's always engaged. So I guess I'm going to have to take apart the clutch side, have a good look. It's almost like it's like the pressure plate is not coming off of the clutch discs enough. I just love that for me.
Anyways, here's a second gear burnout. Please like and subscribe. I'm pretty sure this is proper braking procedure.